Yo guys, welcome to the video. This is Josh or Milky, and in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Atlas trees and the ones that I recommend you use at the start of a brand new Path of Exile League. Now, this isn't all-inclusive. This doesn't have one of every mechanic on the Atlas, as I don't think every mechanic on the Atlas has a spot on this list. This is for, the top strategies that I think are going to be out there for the start of the league. Now, personally, I like to map, so most of these are focused on mapping, but I do have a list on my spreadsheet, of all the things you can do outside of maps, whether that's, Sanctum, Heisting, Labbing, Delve, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be on this tree. I'm going to be updating the sheet throughout the entire league with all my farms, all my experiments that I do. This is going to be my hub of kind of things I get up to. So if you don't watch the stream and you just watch the YouTube, or even if you don't want to watch the YouTube, you can always visit the sheet and see what I'm up to, what I'm doing. So we're going to start off with some pretty easy trees. The first one is, of course, just the Leaguestart Wandering Path tree. This is so common. You see many people recommending this these days, and it is basically because it's the fastest way to complete your Atlas. There's nothing special here, nothing kind of groundbreaking. You basically want to select the nodes that give you 2% chance for one monster in each of your maps to drop an additional connected map. And then obviously these get doubled with Wandering Path. And when you get enough of these nodes, you eventually have a 100% chance to get an adjacent map. Combine this with Kirak, and you are off to the races. You're going to complete your Atlas very quickly. Now, a lot of people are going to recommend this as the way that you choose to level your character through the first, clear of the Atlas to your Quest Eater and Exarch. And I do too. However, I will add a disclaimer that this is very difficult to do for your builds. You want to be quite confident in your build, as you are going to be progressing at a kind of unnatural pace. So do bear that in mind. You're going to want to be confident on whatever build it is you're playing, how to upgrade that build on, a low budget, and how to be able to handle the tier of map that you're going to be going up to fairly quickly. But this is what I recommend doing. And if you follow any good league starter, obviously they are hard to find amongst the thousands of league starters you're going to see. I personally will not be doing one, as I don't feel confident in doing it, but there are plenty of people out there that will provide you with builds that are capable of running this strategy. So that's the first one out of the way. Now let's talk about actually making some money. Now, one of the best things for Leaguestart has always been Blight, and you may be shaking your head. Blight's really good. I don't know how you want to cut it, but a lot of people start off with Blight. It's very easy. It's not very demanding of your build. It's very kind of brain off. You can just go into maps, run them really quick. You've got the option to run it with some other very synergistic mechanics that benefit from speed, because Blight in itself takes a long time. And this is something you're going to notice with the trees and how I actually put strategies together. It's that you want to pick things that synergize well. They want to play to each other's strengths. And with Blight taking a long amount of time, you want to pair it with things that are fast, because you don't want to spend 10 minutes in each map when you're missing out on these things that you can tick per map. Things like Eldritch Altars. So every map is a roll on those Eldritch Altars and one progression towards another incandescent invitation. So for that reason, you want to be doing a lot of maps, but you obviously can't do that if you're doing 97 Blights in one map, which is why we combine it with either Heist or Essence. Now, I'm going to be shilling Heist a little bit at the start of the league, and that is because Heist got some reasonable changes, we'll call them, but everyone's going to be hyped about these new experimenting items. You've got Simplex Amulets. People like to Heist at League Start regardless, as it is a great way to generate currency. If you're not someone who likes to map and blast through your completions, Heist is a nice way to do it if you want to make a build before you start engaging with that content. So people like to Heist. Heist is going to be something that's very easy to sell, even at the earlier stages of the league, as people want to get going. They're just going to do their initial heist, and once they get about some, startup money, they're going to buy a bulk amount of contracts that you're going to be able to give to them if you're farming this strategy. It also adds in Labyrinth Trials, as again, these nodes are just very effective nodes on the tree. See them here? They give you a chance to see the improved offering to the goddess. The trial you see within the map will actually let you know before you go in whether or not it's going to be an improved offering. So you don't actually have to do all the lab trials. You just do the ones that tell you get an improved one. And with how the lab is looking, you may be thinking, well, we've lost a lot of the benefits. I don't particularly agree with that. I think if the Divine Font in the higher tier maps, like the Gift of the Goddess, if you get a lot of rerolls, then I think lab could be very good. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm on the side where I think lab's going to be great. People obviously early on are going to want their transfigured gems. They are going to pay more than maybe they're worth to get their build up and running, and understandably so. These transfigured gems obviously look great. So you can be someone that supplies those gifts of the goddess, dedication to the goddess, tribute of the goddess to the players wanting to do those things. Going to need obviously to use a rusted scarab in this. Rusted Blight Scarabs. We're not going to force it on the map. And Essence has left the map device as well as Heist, so you're going to have to use your 7th gate in both iterations of this particular Blight strategy, which does take up some points on your tree, but you only need 120 here. So once you're done with your Atlas completion, you're going to be able to spec straight into this and get going. The Essence variant that exists alongside this one in the spreadsheet is, you know, also great. It's kind of just personal preference. Do you want to sell contracts or do you want to sell essences? You got to ask yourself that question. And in both strategies, if you find your build not being up to it, then you can always spec into Cassia's Pride, get a couple of enchants on your rings, and you're just going to blow through these maps like no one's business. So Blight, really good start, really easy, really straightforward, and something I definitely recommend. Next, we're going to look at an interesting one. Red altars, obviously very, very potent at the start of the league. Everything from a red altar pretty much has value. Chaos orbs, GCP is obviously going to go up in value this league as you can no longer flip gems. Enkindling orbs, Stilling orbs, believe it or not, these things do sell very, very, very well at the start of the league. So this is all about red altars, doing as many red altars as you can, as quickly as you can, and just breezing through maps. We have gone into the expedition nodes right here. You're not going to see expedition every map, but we did have some points left over, going up to 127. So if you have to drop anything from this, just drop the expedition, and you're basically investing 0 into this map. You're simply running in, rushing the altars, getting out. You're going to get those free deliriums from having Wandering Path. You're going to have a large chance to see delirium, and that means you're going to get a lot of delirium orbs, which at the start of the league, you can either choose to sit on and then sell in bulk, and they do sell very well in bulk, or you can sell them early on to those parties looking to run deli maps, those 5 deli orb maps. Or you can flip them as well. If you want to farm up some harvest juice, you can flip the delirium orbs into better ones and sell them that way. So this one is all about speed. If you want to go fast, you can even throw on Beyond, which I've chose to do here, as you can get it on the map device now for 5C, and tainted currency is always valuable at the start of the league. People trying to get those corrupted 6-lings like Lightning Coil, Cloak of Flame, always good money. So throwing on Beyond for 5C if you want to. If not, just drop the Beyond, and you're going to be down to about 118 points or so. And you'll be breezing through maps. Just do a decent sample size maps, maybe do 100 maps like this, and you're going to have the startup money to do whatever you want. You can get your build going, and you're going to be absolutely flying. This is going to be really easy to do, because all you have to do is kill those red altar monsters. Next, we have obviously a classic. If you play blaster builds like Lightning Arrow or anything that's good at Legion, you'll be familiar with this tree. It's very similar to Grimrose, slightly different. I think obviously this league we have to incorporate the 7th gate in order to get Legion on the map device, but it's more than worth it. And you can do Dunes Legion until your fingers fall off. You click all that loot that drops on the floor. Throw on some shrines. You can even add in the Gloom Shrine Compass if you want to go even faster and get more explosions to help carry your build at the early stages of a league. This is going to be an absolute money printer. It always is. It always will be until they do some drastic change to Legion. But the big money is coming from the raw currency drops, the incubators, the stacked decks, all that miscellaneous loot that you're going to get as you play through. Even gems might be worth something now, because you're going to be dropping quality gems that people might pay for. If GCPs are expensive, then dropping a 16% quality gem could be good. Who knows? So you can get that kind of stuff from Legion, and it's just a bits and bob shop of everything. You're going to drop so much loot doing Legion, and if you're willing to do it for a decent amount of time and generate some bulk on all of these miscellaneous items that you're going to drop, Legion is always fantastic. Next, we have one for the people that want to go really fast, but maybe don't want to engage with these mechanics. They just want to click essences, click heists, and just zoom through maps. It's kind of boss rushing-esque, but not really. You're doing red altars, heist, essence, all these things that take absolutely no time. They add no time to your map whatsoever, and you just blast on through. You've got Stream of Consciousness, you've got Trials, so you can get those approved offerings. You've got some Delirium, so you can drop some Delirium orbs, heist, essence. Just fast. Now, you will have to make the decision whether or not you want to use Essence or Heist on the map device. You'll have to decide that for yourself. As right now, I can't tell you. I don't know the prices, but I anticipate Essence obviously being really good. You're going to get 3 additional Essences for 3 Chaos Orbs, and with all the nodes on the tree, that's going to be a lot of Chaos per map in return for your 3C investment, as well as the additional points you have to spend getting the gateways. Now, if you like the look of the last one, but you're not really there with your build yet, you want to do some white map beast farming. Now, this one is gaining popularity over time. Zen, obviously a fellow member of the Maxroll team, loves doing this. I've chose to incorporate things like Delirium, Harbinger, but if you don't have these points, just drop them. All you need to do is Essence, Beasts, throw on some Delirium if you want. You can even add in Dance of Destruction, because you're going to be in those low-level maps. Who cares? Throw it on. Monsters deal more damage. Doesn't matter. They have less life. you're just going to go even faster, and they're not that dangerous. You're in really low tier maps. So you're going to go fast, probably going to want a Reg XP beast. You might need some understanding of which beast you want to sell. You can find those in the Maxroll guide for this strategy. And you're also going to want to, again, use 7th gate. The map crafting options this league aren't the best. We're going to be using 7th gate an awful lot, and we're using it this time to add essence to the map, as well as a polished bestiary scarab to get the beasts on the map. Now, which nodes you select here will entirely depend on the prices, but you're more off. But to be safe, I have selected these nodes, as Crake Chimeral is definitely the best one, and then getting the less common varieties is obviously a given. You could, if split beasts are for whatever reason expensive, take the hunt for Fenumus, and then you can find more split beasts. But other than that, it's a very generic tree. Very easy to drop things if you're not quite there yet with your progression. Just drop this entire part here, drop the Harby, drop this Harby here. You can even drop these nodes on the deli. At the end of the day, the only thing you really want here are the beasts and the essences. I wouldn't look to add anything to this that increases the amount of time you're going to spend in your map. You don't want to add in things like Blight, Ultimatum, anything that's going to make you spend too much time in these maps, because the idea of these maps is you go fast, fast, fast. You see as many beasts as you can, you see as many essences as you can, and you generate tons of loot. Next, we have a bit more of an advanced one, I guess, in terms of what it requires of your build. It can be done either with Heist or Essence. Yet again, kind of those two fast mechanics that have no impact on your map and how long it takes you to do, assuming you have a decent build. Obviously, Essences can be quite scary. If Essences are too scary for you, you probably shouldn't be doing this strat to start with, as you are going to need a lot of single target damage in order to take down these Shaper Guardians. But the idea here is we're using destructive play, and we're farming Guardian maps very quickly in order to proc it, and also to run the formed invitations. And this, last season, this was incredibly profitable. This was probably the most profitable thing I did last league, and a lot of people did this and went much faster than I did and made upwards of 10 divines an hour. Obviously, I'm not going to quote you, as that's what you're going to make. But if you're one of the first people to do this, this is normally one of the get-rich-quick early strategies, but obviously it does require a pretty good build to do it quickly, especially if you're going to use the compass that increases the boss life by 200%. You can see it's right here. Map bosses deal 100% more damage. Map bosses have 200% more life. That obviously is quite demanding of your build. If you're unable to do this, you will have to buy the rotations of maps from TFT or from the trade website. But if you can run with this, it's a big quality of life boost to this strategy, as you're going to sustain maps infinitely, because if you get one that you don't need, you can simply horizon orbit into one that you do need. Run the maps white, kill the boss, pick up the contracts, or kill the essences, and generate tons of loot. Next, we have a few budget ones, maybe like zero investment. Maybe it's someone who's not confident investing into your Atlas, and you want to do something a bit more laid back. Well, we've gone with Harvest, and the reason I choose Harvest when I do strats like this is Alk and Go, it's zero investment. This is tailor-made for someone who doesn't want to invest into their map and doesn't like engaging with trade. And the reason for that is, I mean, some people just like to play that way, right? So I've chosen Harvest simply because it's going to demand you to trade the least amount. It drops 3 things, and they sell in bulk. So you're going to only have Vivid, Primal, Wildlife Force, and you can sell them when you have large stacks of them, and you literally don't need to sell anything else you get from the Harvest. I've combined it with Trials, as again, we're using Stream of Consciousness, so you're very frequently going to see these Trials. Red Altars, you're going to get all that bubblegum currency, those GCPs. Red Altars, obviously just very good. I don't really need to harp too much on about those. And then Delirium, as over a large sample size of maps, again, you're going to generate so many Delirium orbs that they're going to sell really well in bulk. So you don't have to do many trades. You can sell your whole Delirium tab at once. It's very easy to trade Harvest stuff. So this is for you. If you don't like trading, if you don't like PvPing people on TFT to try and get a trade done, this kind of strategy with Stream of Consciousness and the mechanic that you enjoy is going to be one to go with. There are other versions of this. I've made one with Harvest and Expedition. I've dropped the Delirium in order to incorporate Expedition on this. This means you're going to get some logbooks, so you can run those yourself. Obviously, you're going to be able to use the vendors to get some items. More of a solo self-found strat, but also just a good chill strat if you don't like to trade and you don't like to pick up loads of loot. It's all kind of condensed into very, small things like the Life Force, the artifacts, and then obviously like the invitations and stuff from Red Altars. You're not going to have to worry too much about engaging with trade. And I know some people value that, so I've tried to keep you in mind while making these strategies. And that's going to be it. We do have some more on here. Check those out if you use the spreadsheet. I don't want to go over some more advanced late game stuff, but I have included a couple on the sheet. I am going to myself run Ultimatum. I don't want to include this in the video because I don't want to be accused of baiting anyone, but I am going to do it. If you want to see what I'm going to do, go on over, check out the spreadsheet, and you'll see that. And you can see the out of map strategies. right here on the left, we have things like Sanctum, Heist, Lab, Delve, Sexton running, bossing, doing services for people, whether it's crafting or carries, 5 ways, simulacrum, flask rolling, running inscribed ultimatums for people, logbooks, Blight maps, crafting services, dump tabs, you know, make sure you're picking up all that rare jewelry, ID in it, stick it in a dump tab, flipping, not my specialty, something you can definitely do, gambling. There's plenty of things you can do to make money in a league, and this spreadsheet is going to try and have as much of that on it for you as I possibly can. That was a lot of words. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have an amazing league start. I'll be here the entire time if you need help with currency or anything like that. Obviously, I'm not going to be the guy to help you with your build, but if you need to make a bit of currency, if you need a bit of help with your Atlas tree, I'll be more than happy to help. If you noticed any errors in any of these trees, as I know a lot of you are very eagle-eyed, I do make mistakes. I am very willing to admit it, and I'm very willing to amend them if you notice. So let me know if you notice anything wrong with any of the trees, and I'll see you in the next video, probably slightly after league launch. Have a good league start. I'll see you soon.